Well, we are going to get started. Welcome back to the world of Ilumelan. So, a now established world, and the only viable form of life on a small solar system on the outskirts of the astral plane, with a rather interesting history. The close astral dominion, Illume, managed to colonize this planet successfully after one failed attempt in a demon uprising. This flourishing, still relatively new astral colony managed to build a foundation in a wild world with the help of celestial beings and support from political entities in the astral dominion. Fully cut off around 16 SC, which stands for Second Colonization, the colonists on the new world of Illume managed to kick off the world, surviving off the land, developing countries, drawing boundaries, and setting down roots. The only contact they have with Illume since the cutoff has been the worship of, and occasionally miraculous magic from, the pantheon of celestials on Illume, who managed to elevate to godly status through their followers garnering worship and establishing churches on this material plane. Though the foundations set by the colonists, the pantheon of gods has risen and is the foundation of many countries' worship around here. So we're going to zoom in now. In the midst of tumultuous times, where monsters still roam the world, unbeholden to the boundaries drawn by so-called political figures, and the guilds are attempting to work to maintain the peace. A world where wild magic roams unfiltered, and where those who control the land control the resources, which matters. And the power you hold to keep the peace matters even more. And most of all, this is a world where one misstep, one imbalance of power is enough to send countries into chaos and destruction. The year is newly 295 Second Colonization, and much is the same since we last saw Ilumelan several months ago. And though much has still changed. While the winter months are temperate in the coastal city of Nassau along the southern coast of Rosewick, the Wyvern Wing Adventuring Guild, it always looks for a reason to celebrate, and there's been many parties happening throughout all of these really great epic winter solstice things happening here. And with the turn of the new year, the holiday season has been settling down, but in the spirit of joy and encouragement and confidence that are still running as rampant through the guild as the newest addition to it, as there hasn't been a child joining the guild in the last 17 years. So Amelie, a very curious and joyful human girl who has a very hidden, mischievous streak, the size of the mayhem left in her wake. She was adopted by two well-known Sky members of the guild after her mother was taken over by an evil entity, Nasi, the later of Spiders and Secrets, and destroyed by some members of the guild in an attempt to crush the cultists trying to elevate her to a goddess. Not wanting to return to her father, a very well-known lord in Salston, as he's under political investigation for corruption, as well as rumors of abuse and neglect, Amelie and her nanny Amelia, whose brother Blake was one of the four heroes who took out Nasi and her cult, joined the guild and were quickly folded into the Thurrows. Months later, the official adoption by Amelie by Izzy the Sword and Lillian the Diviner has been finalized, much to everybody in the guild's delight. However, despite the cheerful season and reason to celebrate, the guilds, the Wyvern's Wing Adventuring Guild being one of the most well-known and established, are fighting daily to maintain the peace. With its location in Rosewick, which is this country right here, one of the most powerful countries of the 9 that make up Ilumelan, and the guild centers in Nassau, the largest trade city in the world due to its central location and access via land and water. Wyvern Wing is ripe with information, quests, and political secrets. There's rumors of tension rising between the jungle region of Iga, down here, and the swampy coastal region of Maria, which suggests possible wars breaking out, all centered around a magical item called essence pearls, which are rumored to hold a moat of raw magic made from the tumultuous and wild essence of Merino, the shifting god of the oceans and tide. The nomadic desert tribes of Kahito up here are caught in between them, and their trade routes try to hold off from the involvement, while Menominee tribes in the far south are cut off from the majority of the world now because of the turmoil, except by pirate trade routes. While they do share borders with the feudal country of Sailstone here, they're shut off because of differing politics and Sailstone's desperate efforts to make connections with Rosewick. The United Republic of Islands over on the side has been rising in power due to discovery of several of these essence pearls and their connection with the pirate trade routes. The most information, however, comes from Simona City, a very small city-state that is wedged in between a mountain range and the desert, who reveres Lady Simona, the silent goddess of justice and balance, and is the center of all the guilds throughout Ilumelan. But it is from Thalor, up here in the north, the thriving country northeast of Rosewick, that's partially deep in the Underdark, that information on rising threats in the north have been passed down through trade embargoes of fabulously crafted weapons, armor, art, and magical items. While there have been giants in the world since the beginning, left behind from an old pantheon of gods in an older time, they had retreated to places hidden from the world, preferring to keep to themselves. However, something has stirred some of them from hiding and sent them roaming all over Vitherfold, the wild north. The clans that set down roots there when the colonists came normally were focused in scuffles for boundaries, hunting routes, resources, but there are rumors of them banding together against the giant threat. It hasn't spread to the neighboring countries yet, nor has there been any word other than just suspected giant locations, but it's still a cause for worry. But let's dive a little into our story. Sweeping over the plains of Rosewick, the forests off in the distance, a well-traveled roads that lead towards the sparkle of blue waters. A lone figure, a half-orc, tall and a bit wild, a staff strapped to her back, walks towards the large port city. Following her through the gates of the city, we zoom in through the bustling streets, shops, restaurants, homes, temples of the gods, and the warehouses. At the edge of the city, walls set aside a large keep, its green gate thrown open and crowned by a large iron-carved winged creature, its mouth open in a cry. Lush greens and a cute shop meet the wandering patron, drawing them into the guild's fold. We pass through houses and dormitories surrounding large gardens, glide over huge fields and outdoor training areas into the main building. A bustling tavern at midday greets guild members, the smell of lunch permeating the vibrant air. A human man bustles behind the counter, smiling at the rowdy patrons as he sets down plates of food and drink while carrying conversation with them, one of them being an eccentric wood elf, well on in her years, who takes a tankard and walks with a grin to the job board. Gliding in through the hallways, we come to a grand double doors decorated in stars, of what could only be the library. Inside, a small goblin woman, an otherworldly and regal appearance about her, studies at the library's desk in the quiet, everything ready for members to walk in for the day. Those doors then burst open in a raucous clatter as a large human woman, tall and broad, with short cropped brown hair decorated with braids and beads, shaved on the right side and an undercut. Izzy the Sword. A friendly and kind lady, but known for her fighting prowess and the echoes that she produces, and named for the large greatsword always across her back. The newest parent in the guild and wife to the head librarian, Lillian, who, Lydia, you often work with. You look up from your disturbance. Lydia, would you please describe yourself? Candle?
This is what happens when you are muted, my friends.
Oh.
All right. So yes, Lydia is about 3'4". She is a goblin. She has light green / yellow skin. She has half-size spectacles or glasses and has a deep orange red messy bob hairstyle. She looks quite stern and is really into her job.
Okay. Sounds good. As you're working in there and studying, so Izzy comes up to you and she says, "Oh, there you are, thank goodness. Oh my gosh, I've been looking for you everywhere. I mean, I should have assumed that you were here, as per usual. And you being a little bit more on the insightful side and working with these characters a lot, you know that Izzy isn't normally frantic, but with being a new mother, even though the kid is like 9 years old, she's been getting a little bit less sleep and adapting to all of this, and so she seemed a little bit more stressed. But this seems a little different, and it seems like there's some sort of a problem, probably. She goes, okay, but the guildmaster and my wife would love to see you in the Sky Lounge when you have a moment, if that's cool.
Okay. Okay, first of all, hush. This is a library. Calm down. Don't scream.
I'm not screaming.
Use your words.
Okay.
And are they waiting for me right now?
Yeah. You have a minute because I need to go find some other people, but they're waiting for you. Yes.
All right, I'll be there as soon as I finish my tasks.
Like 5 minutes, like 20 minutes, like...
It took me about 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay. Okay. I accept this. All right. You continue on with your tasks and gather up your stuff and head towards the Sky Lounge. And we're going to follow Izzy back into the Wyvern Wing Tavern, pausing as she scoops up a young girl with straight brown hair messed up from her rambunctious and giggling retreat from a floofy tabaxi and a gray-skinned elf chasing her through the floor. Izzy exchanges a few words and grins with them, her new daughter Amelie clinging to her back as they approach the bar and the man behind it. Kieran, you watched this whole exchange and see them approach. Would you please describe yourself?
Yeah, Kieran is a dude. Just a man. He's currently in, like that, pirate shirt, rolled up sleeves, just very classic, high-waisted leather pants, sensible shoes, has an apron on that says, "Don't kiss me." And he is very friendly, grinning, chit-chatting with people, continually taking orders, getting drinks, pulling people's food out, occasionally going in the back very quickly to help, do some extra prep work or pick up if something's running a bit behind, but he's currently running food today.
Okay. Sounds good. You see Izzy approach you with Amelie kind of climbing all over her like a little bit of a jungle gym. And Izzy goes, "Oh, good." And she looks a little stressed.
What do we need here? Do we need some lunch, sandwiches? Are we feeling soup today? Me?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure if I can do anything for you.
No, but my wife wants to see you, okay?
He's gonna yell back into the kitchen, can I take my break now? And
Cecilia yells back, "I guess, but sure, you can take your break."
I'll double check everyone first, and he will, with very, very good grace, kind of spin around and finish clearing the rest of the plates and getting a couple of people he know who'll want extra drinks, and he'll very swiftly take off his apron.
And as you're doing this, Izzy kind of leans over and goes, "They're up in the meeting room in the Sky Lounge. Just warning you, the guildmaster's there. But yeah, okay, cool."
He goes, "Oh!" and frantically starts to goes to smear some food stains onto his pants before stopping and grabbing a towel and then trying to clean his pants off.
Okay, cool. I'll leave you to that. And walks away from that. Wait. Have you seen Miriam?
He looks back at the bar. I saw her just a minute ago, but she's... I don't know, man. She likes to go places, see things, mess with people, you know.
Oh, I think I see her. And Izzy, is walking away, and, if you call or anything, she does not hear you. She's gone.
Yeah. At this point, he knows not to... The second her back is turned,
yep.
Just do not engage.
Nope. Cool. So we'll follow Izzy over towards a table near the job boards, where you, Miriam, have been holding court, so to speak, with several of other guild members that often come to you. Amelie is now on Izzy's shoulder, shouts out, "Gliama!" and then flops off her mom's stature with the bonelessness that only a 9-year-old can muster, and crashes onto the table in front of you. You nimbly rescuing your beverage. She giggles and looks up with her wide hazel eyes. "Mama's looking for you," and points to Izzy. But Miriam, would you please describe yourself?
Absolutely. Miriam is a older elf. She's about 668 years old. She has deeply tanned skin, silver hair with just a little bit of orange left at her roots. Some smile lines and a lot of wrinkles. She wears very ostentatious, colorful clothing and has very sparkly gloves and a hollowed statuette of a phoenix with 2 holes in it on her side.
All right. Amelie... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, sweetheart, why didn't you say that sooner?
I just did. I don't know. I'm just... Okay. And then you see her, like, catch a glimpse of something sparkly, and then she, like, rushes off, probably to... You know that she's been practicing some pickpocketing skills that one of the energetic tabaxis in the guild seems to be teaching her. And she, like, stumbles off the table and rushes off, and Izzy kind of, like, grins over her shoulder, watching her kid go, and then turns back to you. My wife would like to see you in the Sky Lounge if you have a moment.
I always have a moment.
And,
Well, slowly get up and stretch.
it seems to be pretty official business, so the guild master is there too.
So what I'm hearing is do not offer snacks.
I think that there's snacks there. Oh, those snacks. No, don't offer those snacks.
Miriam will just give her a little sly grin and start walking.
Okay, perfect. So as you're walking away, you watch as, Izzy's kind of following Amelie's quest throughout the guild, trying to make sure that she doesn't, piss somebody off there. And is her attention's drawn as one of the doors to the taverns opens, revealing a figure backlit by the clear blue sky. Shelia, would you please describe yourself?
Yeah, she is a 6'8" half-orc with incredibly thick, luxurious hair. She wears some plate armor. You can see some ab muscles and a slight ribcage tattoo poking through. Where she doesn't tower over people, she typically out-wides and bulks them. She carries a staff on her back and a book on her side.
Okay. So you're coming into this tavern, and for the first time in like 3 years, and immediately you see someone who you've interacted with several times since leaving the guild, but Izzy is like bowling towards you, and you are a bit taller than her and a bit bulkier than her, but she's matched you a couple-ish times, and she comes walking straight up to you and goes, "You."
I give a legendary eye roll and say, Izzy.
My wife somehow
I
knew
haven't seen you since I trapped you.
Yeah, okay, whatever. It only took us like 3 minutes to get out of. Thank you very much. But,
Whatever. Long enough for me to get old Staffy Waffy back here, and I pat my staff.
Yeah, you're lucky that the guild doesn't condone stealing from...
You're lucky that I'm not part of this guild, otherwise they might kick you out.
Yeah, whatever. Well, you might have to be, because my wife somehow knew you were coming here today, and you're already being summoned. I was told that I would find you.
Oh, anyone but Lillian, even you.
Rude. She is a gem, thank you.
I will, put a hand up to her face and walk on.
You don't even know where you're going.
I'll find it.
Nope, you won't because you've never been there before.
You got 3 seconds to yell it at me before I'm out of earshot.
Up 2 flights of stairs and to the left.
I'll go up 2 flights of stairs and to the left.
Okay. Perfect. So you all eventually make your way to the Sky Members Lounge right away. 3 of you are very familiar with this space as it is open to you whenever you would like, but Shelia, you are experiencing the entirety of this lounge for the first time as you were barely in the probationary period of your membership before you exited. Large wooden stairs bring you to a very open yet cozy space, much quieter than the tavern below. Groupings of couches and tables frame one large hexagon table that has roughly 20 seats in the center of the room, and there's a buffet and bar space off to the side. Currently, one of the bartenders from below is catering to the space. There's the smell of coffee in the air, and likely wafting from an intense-looking map session that 2 other Sky members are having in the corner. So you're walking through, Shelia, and Izzy is, like, following you awkwardly. Like, you stormed off from me, but I'm going to the same space as you type vibe. But you kind of, like, pause there for a moment, and she walks up and just kind of points and continues on towards a room in the side. That seems to be
This is so weird that you're following me.
Well, I'm supposed to be in this meeting, too. But, it seems that there's a smaller meeting room that is prepared for you. Most of them are cozy and well-equipped with the amenities. There's snacks and tea in the corner as you walk in, and there's 2 familiar figures in the room, as all of you do manage to make your way in here. Sitting at the front of the table is someone who you all know rather well, Izzy's wife Lillian, the head librarian, and Lydia, your boss. She's a rather spacey air genasi, with her long hair swirling around in shades of light blue and lavender, and very lithe, as wizards often are. Her soft features frame her pale blue eyes that often turn pearlescent, shining rainbows of colors when she's divining. However, her typically calm disposition has an air of worry about her today. The other figure, who is a tall half-elf who often carries herself with an air of dignity and immense power, the guild mistress, Inara Absinthe. Her ebony hair is pulled up in a very typical braided knot for her, and her green eyes standing out with the emerald robes she's currently wearing. As you all walk in, Inara is peering out the window to the grounds below, and then she lands on each of you. Good. You're all here. Take a seat.
Miriam will lounge.
I will sit next to Miriam and also do like the I'm trying to lounge and then like slowly tilt my chair back to the back 2 spokes.
Miriam gives you a grin.
I'll pointedly stay standing.
Okay. Lydia?
Lydia will take a seat with her legs crossed, looking attentive.
And Inara just gestures at Lillian. And Lillian kind of takes a swallow, and then she goes, "All right. I had a weird dream. And I saw my old mentor, who is an ex-member of the guild. You might remember him, Miriam. Tobias Sinclair. He was the very eccentric, like wizard elf. Yeah, but he has a very interesting connection to the ether of the world and the raw magic. And he's contacted me through dreams before. I mean, it's very typical for us diviners. But it's usually very specific and like an actual spell and not what it was. So I tried to contact him once I woke up, but I wasn't able to make purchase, which tells me that his soul is somewhat either trapped or on a different plane or something along those lines. But I had weird visions of him from things about giants and star signs and the glints of dragon scales. And then I saw 4 energies. And they drew me to each of you, which is really weird because, well, I know that several of you haven't been on quests in a while, and Shelia, you're not even a part of this guild. But I knew that we needed to assemble a quest, and that you needed to go track down Tobias, because obviously he's in danger, and, well, I really want to go find my mentor. I have a kid, and I wasn't summoned, so... yeah. But I do know that he's been working on a very important mission that's supposed to help establish the world and counter the rising giant threats that have been a problem. They've been getting more active as the clans have been spreading out in Vutherfold, and it's likely that he's gotten himself in trouble. It seems that he's alive still, but very distant. So I'm hoping that you guys can go track him down and help him finish his work, but there may be more problems at hand than just that. So, I know it's not a typical quest of the guild, but, I suppose I am proposing this quest for you. And she, like, steeples her fingers and looks down a little awkwardly.
Oh, sweetheart, would you have called me if it was typical? Absolutely not.
I mean, in my defense, I didn't call you at all. It was, I saw it in my dreams. So, I didn't pick people. You were picked for this.
The ether works a mysterious way.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you're interpreting your dreams correctly? Because right now you have a librarian, a cook, a ex-member, and Miriam on this mission.
I mean, hey, maybe we just need some good old knowledge and a good old homemade meal.
I understand your trepidation, Lydia. Especially, and I appreciate you challenging me as you often do. But I know your soul signature, and I very specifically saw it. And I know Kieran's and Miriam's, and I have interacted with Shelia multiple times, and she, like, you actually see her look frustrated, and she's normally, like, a very calm person, and, like, there's
smirking.
just, like, a flash of anger that is very untypical for her.
I'll look over at Shelia, correct?
Uh-huh.
I'll look over and I'll like snap my fingers and I'll go, "Oh, you! Yes! Ale! Cornbread! Scotch on occasion!" And then he'll turn to continue the conversation, satisfied that he now remembers you.
I assume that's pretty typical of Kieran to, like, spout stuff like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Lillian's, like, grinning at that.
My smirk has gone.
But anyway, if you're all willing to accept this quest, I don't have much I can offer you other than, I'll try to rumble up some treasure to give you on the way back, but it's a pretty important mission, and if there's some weird stuff going on in the world, it might be beyond just our guild. It might be a little bit more world-changing there, and I'm sure that you're gonna come across lots of treasure along the way, but I'm hoping that you'd be willing to, and I do have some things that we can give you for sure to stock you up and get you ready to go. If you're willing to accept.
Absolutely. It would be greatly appreciated, especially that I don't freeze my little fingers off.
Yeah, it's pretty cold up there.
I mean, I haven't been on a quest with Miriam in a hot minute, so that'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm. Always is with us.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we'll accept the mission, but would you have any more information for us to go on? The world's a big place. Do we know where Tobias was heading, or sense his location?
So, I can't sense his location, but I do know where his tower was, and as most wizards do, he was very meticulous about recording information. He never coded his notes or anything along those lines, but he protected them, so you might need to... He's evidently not in his tower, but you might need to break in to find the information. But there's likely clues on what's been happening, what he's been working on, his life's work, and where he was heading. And maybe there's some information on why I can't scry on him, but he's a very eccentric man full of tricks and secrets, but I promise he would have had recorded notes in his safe space. And I can actually, whoever feels that they would be willing to lead the group and not get lost, I can give a little bit of a vision of where it is, and then she, like, minor illusions the whole table and the kind of map of Ilumelan as to what things look like, and so on and so forth. And actually, it's pretty up in this corner here. But you watch as she paints a little bit of a trail. So you guys are down here in Naso, and she shows you going up, and then following, there's a main road that goes this way, past a city, and then goes up into the forest. And then she shows you going off the main road, north, which most of you would know that a lot of the trade routes don't go north. And then along the Aegeus Mountains, and kind of like over here in this area. But his tower location was here, and I can show somebody a more specific vision of how to get there and what it looks like if somebody wants to be in charge of leading and stuff. In that regard.
I'm a little rusty.
She's essentially asking who is the best survival stat.
Good question.
Well, I would assume that Shelia would have the best outdoor experience.
You all's confidence is inspiring. If you want me to lead, I will lead.
I mean, I don't know much about you, but are you good at survival?
No. I mostly fuck shit up when I need to.
I'm not bad, but I'm not sure if I'm the best.
I'm not sure if I have the memory still for it.
Sounds like Kieran is the one.
Oh, Lydia?
I have some experience, mainly just reading books about survival and scouting.
Alright,
But
I mean, I've been up north.
I wouldn't mind being the leader.
Perfect chance for you to put that knowledge into action, Lydia.
Very well.
Okay. So Lillian stands up and, like, motions for you to move a little bit closer to you. And then she kind of gets down on your level, because you're a little bit shorter, and places her hands on the side of your head, of your face, which you guys have done this before. She's given you various visions. Sometimes as simple as she'll touch your hand and, like, show you where a book is very specifically. So you're pretty used to this, which actually is probably beneficial. And she shows you a little bit better of the way. So it's kind of like a similar, here's how to get through the woods, here's the path to follow, here's the towns to stop in, that you can easily track, and you probably already clocked with her showing you on the map. And then it gets a little bit more specific, going off trails and continuing northwest. And then once you enter Vitherfold, to find, there's like an old hunter's trail that she kind of shows you. And then as you go along the top of the Aegeus Mountains, and then she shows you a vision of a peak, a very tall peak on the left side, and then twin peaks on the right. That is about a half-day's journey up off that trail into, and there's a frozen waterfall, as well as this tower that shines out. And you feel like, okay, I kind of know. She gave you quite a bit of landmarkers and so on and so forth. And then the vision fades.
This will be very helpful. Out of curiosity, did nobody try to send a sending message to Tobias?
That was the first thing I did. I tried to send him a sending message. I tried to slip into his dreams. I tried to scry on him multiple times. I tried to ask several of the different gods if they had any contact, and they all gave me very weird, cryptic answers. So, although, yeah, it was very weird and cryptic. And so, I tried. He seems to not be anywhere I can find him, which is, I mean, pretty typical for him. He does plane jump a little bit and hop between dimensions, but, you know.
Does he now?
Occasionally.
Alright, is this pressing? Do we have to go right this minute?
So this is where the guildmistress chimes in. Inara kind of turns and goes, I would take a day to prepare and set out in the morning. It's midday right now, and it's about a day travel to the crossroads, which is the first little bit. But take time to stock up. I wouldn't drop everything. Several of you haven't traveled in a while, and your gear might not be all ready to go. But the guild will assist in any way possible, since this is not an official mission from a patron.
Would it
Alright.
be possible to request a cart?
If you so desire. And then Lillian kind of grimaces. I wouldn't, unless you were going to leave it behind at the Outlook, which is the last town before you set off into the woods. Just because there's going to be a lot of, you know, trapezing off the path.
You like thinking really long for a moment. Alrighty, so we're going very off the beaten path. Yes, I mean, obviously that's a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, no cart. Could I get a mule?
If you want.
Or a donkey? A donkey will also do. They're both sure-footed.
Yeah. I can do that.
You'll see Kieran kind of like thinking through his head. He looks very, very like focused and keeps like muttering like, yeah, no, yeah, not for that. And he goes, alright, we should be good.
Here, I do have this stuff. And you see her pulling up, Lillian pulling up, like, a bag, and then she, like, flips it completely inside out, and which most of you recognize now that this is a bag of holding, and it dumps all over the ground, and you just see an Inra go, in the background. Like, Lillian obviously just did not think that through.
Is there anything cool I can take?
Yeah, I was getting there. So you see several sets of warm weather clothes, 2 tents, a couple of charms that you probably very specifically, Shelia, would recognize as like something that would keep somebody warm. Enough rations. There's like a whole butt ton of rations upon rations upon rations. A box that you recognize would hold several potions in it. And that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna snag a charm in the box of potions real quick.
I will also snag a charm.
Oh, you can keep the bag if you want, and put it all in.
Cool.
And she like, hands it to you, Kieran, who like went, oh.
Yeah. Okay. He like flips the bag of holding right side out. All right. I can pass things off. Damn, have one of these in a while.
Sheila, you open the box of potions and you see 4 potions of regular healing and 2 potions of greater healing.
Nice.
Do you want to stick those in here, or do you have a preference?
No, I'll keep them.
All right.
Alrighty.
Very well. Is there anything else you believe that we should know?
That's what I know. I will spend the afternoon trying to see if I can commune and get more information. I know that it's hard setting off on that, other than giant threat. He was doing a mission and is off in the north. I know that that's a lot, not much to go off of, but you obviously all were called for a reason, so hopefully you can add to this. But yeah, take the day to prepare and maybe set off in the morning. Oh, and Sheila, I knew you were coming, so I reserved a room for you at the inn.
Just a clarification, are we meant to bring him back, or just to verify where he is and that he's alive?
Verify where he is and that he's alive. I mean, if you can convince him to come back, I'd love to see him, but help him complete whatever he is doing, because obviously it was too intense for him to do it alone, which he forgets sometimes.
Very well, it will be done.
Thank you.
And you said it was 4 potions of healing and 2 potions of greater healing?
Correct.
And are you holding on to all 6 of those, Shorty?
Uh-huh.
Am I ever going to see them again?
Only if I put one in your mouth.
You make it that far.
Good time.
Alright.
So with that, the guild mistress kind of nods at all of you and says, do your best and make everyone proud, and then sweeps out of the room, and continues on with her day. Lillian kind of looks like a little deflated, like, oh, okay, cool, I got that all out. I feel a little bit better. Like, that kind of vibe from her, and Izzy walks over and puts a hand on her back. And you are free.
Well, do we want to meet in tavern in the morning? I'll pack some breakfast.
Absolutely. Kieran, do you want to help me do some baking back in my townhouse? I have a lot to do before we leave.
Oh, of course. He kind of looks at the rations as he's like shoving them back into the bag of holding. I mean, we can do better than this. You know? No offense.
They're like basic rations. Looking at it, you see that it's enough for 4 people for 4 weeks. So it's a fuck ton of rations.
Oh, my land.
Yeah. It was like rations upon rations upon rations dumping out.
I'm still shoving them in, and I'm just like looking at them with like a mild like dissatisfaction.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll come to your townhouse. I'll look to Lydia and Sheila. So, do you want to join us? Not to just extend the offer, Miriam, but like...
Oh no, it's quite alright. My house is always open.
Just so that we can chit-chat maybe and not all be blindsided by not knowing what the fuck we're doing with each other.
No, that's quite alright. I'll meet you at the tavern tomorrow morning. I've got my own stuff to prepare.
Good.
I guess I'll go watch you guys do whatever you're doing. Not that I want to help, but I can watch.
Oh, it's
yeah.
quite alright. I need a taste tester anyways.
Yeah.
And it
Is it
cannot
Is it baked beans?
not implement.
If it's not baked beans, pass.
Oh no. Well, brown
He like-
cookies. The stuff
She
not
likes- She likes cornbread and baked beans.
I can make some
I just added all those rations into my bag of holding. I'd like to mention it takes half of the weight. This is very important to note, folks.
Okay.
It'll be worth your time though, Sheila, I promise.
You're kind of creepy, but sure.
You want me to bring you some food, though, Lydia?
That would be very much appreciated. Your cooking is quite formidable. You're quite a competent chef.
Flatter me too much. Alright. I'll go pick up my, I will go collect, like, my handful of things together before heading over to Miriam's with my chef knives.
Nice.
baking montage.
Okay.
Yep, baking montage.
So there's a baking montage that happens. Is there any like interactions or things specifically that you would learn about, like that Sheila would learn about you, or you guys would learn about Sheila?
Depends. Is Sheila taste testing?
Sheila will taste test everything and more than likely dislike everything.
You're gonna taste test everything?
I mean, Sheila will taste test everything within reason. I knew your character was creepy.
I was gonna say,
Old
there's
Bill
a
Cosby
reason
at
why-
it again.
there's a reason why Kieran's just a little relieved he's not taste testing.
Yeah, there's a reason that Lydia is not here at all.
Sheila will inspect everything and taste it if it seems adequate.
Okay, roll me let's do perception? First roll of the night.
Oh, yep, it all seems okay.
Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, go ahead and roll me a constitution saving throw, please.
Well, wait, isn't Sheila blessed?
Oh yeah, you are blessed. No.
By who?
No, you aren't blessed.
Well,
No.
there was a bless.
I'm
if I
Oh, that
blessed. I got
That was
blessed
Oh.
twice.
for Zari.
Yep.
I haven't seen any since then.
My first roll gets a plus d4, and my first enemy roll specifically gets a plus d4. Okay, so, oh my gosh, you rolled a 2. I am so sorry. Although, this is the thing to roll bad on. Yeah, there's very specifically some brownies that you try. They're delicious and gooey. They have a weird kind of taste to them, though. And after about 20 minutes, you are high.
The second you ate those brownies, Kieran is continually just feeding you water.
Why am I
Just
so
like-
thirsty?
The second that sucker's empty, just refills it back up. Kieran has a much more like relaxed cooking time. I feel like Miriam bakes more than she cooks.
Mm-hmm.
And he's making a good handful. It looks like he's bulk making a lot of stuff that can like quickly be like rewarmed and things, as well as like traveler's bread and the like. Though he does make a very nice simple chili for all of us to enjoy with a variety of corn muffins and bread and the like on the side.
Love it.
Perfect. All right.
Just there, bugs on the ceiling, Shelia.
I think Sheila will eat all of the cornbread that's made.
I'll pack them aside, and after people have finished eating, he will make sure to clean everything up, pack up some leftovers, look at Shelia and go, I'll make some extra corn muffins tonight, and then head out to go bring Lydia her dinner that he set aside.
Aw.
Right? Lydia's gonna be like, are you the one that made them? It wasn't a Chaos Engine that did she?
Yeah, she didn't make them. Shelia got to experience her first bit.
Yeah, thanks but no thanks. I think I'll pass.
Are you sure? It's chilly.
If she had any hand to do with that, I
do
just
not-
can't-
I
just
do
cannot
not
process
let-
chili.
Thank you, but I do not let Miriam touch my chili.
Oh, well, if you cooked it, then fine. I'm
Oh,
sure it'll
yeah.
be fantastic. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
And he'll hand it off. It's still a little warm.
And Lydia is gonna take a set of cutlery and very delicately eat the chili. But the moment Kieran is gone, she's just gonna take her hands and just gobble it.
Beautiful. All right. So, is there any very like specific things that you want to go buy from the store, or that you are like preparing, or is it just like your general wrap up and all of that stuff, saying goodbye to people, so on and so forth?
Some more potions of healing.
Eventually, could I go out and buy some crampons?
I'm sorry, what?
They're little spikes that you put on the bottom of your shoes so that you don't slip on ice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Do you want just like a set for you?
I'll get a set for everybody.
Okay, I'd say that they'd be about 5 silver a piece, so 2 gold.
Alrighty.
Cool.
And then I'm just buying regular potions of healing, and I'll get.
Okay. You know the 2 people who run the Wyvern's Workshop pretty well, I would say. So Zavris and his husband Jarvis. And so I'll say, are you bringing them any bribes?
Yeah, he's got some leftover meat pies in his apartment. He'll bring them over.
Okay, cool. So Jarvis the dwarf is like super stoked that you brought meat pies over, and it's like, yeah, we definitely have some potions that you can take. Is there potions that what size do you want specifically?
I mean, I'm looking for just regular healing, but you got anything stronger, I will take them.
Okay, okay, cool. So with the bribe, he'll give you regular potions of healing for 40 gold pieces. He has about 5 in stock. And then greater is going to be about 120. And he has 2 of those.
120. I'll take both of them.
Okay, so go ahead and mark off that 240 gold. Are you getting any of the regular potions?
Yeah, I'll take 4.
Okay, go for it. So you have doubled your potion supply.
Yeah.
Cool, sounds good. Go ahead and add those to your supplies. Okay, anything else that you wish to do to prepare?
And this is just a sly question. The charms for what?
They're essentially like, you know those things that you squeeze them and they like get really warm for your, like the hand warmers?
Oh, okay.
They're
Just
essentially
hand
like that. They're magic, but they encompass your whole body.
Okay.
So it's going to, unless you're in like super, super freezing cold weather, like a blizzard, they're going to make it that you don't have to be concerned about your health.
Okay.
Especially for sleeping at night.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm all ready.
Well, Lydia's going to prepare by going to the library, and if she can, she's going to check out some books.
Yeah, of course. What are you looking for specifically?
Specifically, the ecology of the North, so the flora and fauna of what to expect in the North,
Okay.
well as the biology and culture of giants,
Okay.
and the latest studies. If Tobias wrote any books, Lydia would like to check out the latest studies of Tobias.
Okay. So I'm going to have you roll an investigation check and then 3 separate luck checks.
Yes, ma'am. But can I argue advantage investigation since I work here?
Yes. Absolutely, you can argue that, and it is granted.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me those 3 separate luck checks.
Is it D20s or D100s?
D100.
That's 25, 95, and 85.
Holy goodness. Okay. So, you managed to find all 3 of those things. So you find a compendium of the flora and the fauna of the North. It talks a lot about all the different plants that you'll find, as well as some of the various animals that are there. And the plant list is a lot shorter, and they're a lot like hardier things. Talks a little bit more about carnivorous trees, and then like some birch and various things that like grow under the ground in the warmer season. There's a ton on animals and the use of like every little bit of the animals, so as to not waste things. Various large saber-toothed tigers and mammoths, as well as smaller foxes and so on and so forth. And you feel that in most cases you could reference this. It seems to be very well written. You can judge that stuff pretty well. And you check the source, and it seems to be somebody who's traveled up there a lot. So I will say that for the sake of this, when you are investigating any stuff in, when you have more than about 3 minutes, and so that you can actually reference the book, and it's not like a super quick nature check, I will give you advantage for things relating to the north.
For me.
So, if you read if you like study the book pretty in depth, I will give you advantage on just like plain rolls in general. So, okay. With the information on the giants, there's not a ton because they don't often go out into the world. However, in the back of the library, you do manage to find a compendium that was kind of tucked away that seems a little bit more of like an adventurer's journal from the north, and it talks a bit about like how there seems to be an ordning that the giants answer to other giants, if that makes sense, that some are higher ranked than others, and that they have their own religion, and that a lot of them are a little bit more on the aggressive side, especially the giants that most people run into, and the ones that they don't are usually a little bit less aggressive, such as like cloud giants and some storm giants.
Yeah.
As for Tobias's writings, you do find some of his writings, especially since Lillian was his pupil, and he talks a lot about, I actually feel like you would have read some of these in the past. Talks a little bit about the astral dominion of Illum, because he actually used to live there, and coming to Ilumelan and getting it started. He also talks a little bit about the shift between planes, and that, seems that he spent some time studying the planar shifts and the Feywild of this world, as well as it seemed that he spent a ton of time up in the north, studying that the areas where the thread between the planes are a little bit more loose. He also seems fascinated by dragons, and he seems fascinated by the way that things become gods. So I would say that you can read that a little bit more in depth now with the framework that you have. It doesn't really grant you much, but you know how to read his work now.
Thank you.
Yep, he's very eccentric. Extremely eccentric. Okay. Any other preparations?
Miriam, like, once she's done baking, you just see her writing out a list on a piece of parchment. And it just says, out for adventuring, don't burn things down. Rules. No rats in the house. No taking my shit. Yes, can raid fridge. Yes, can sleep overnight. No summoning fiends or elementals. No bags of tricks. And she just, like, nails it to her front door.
Love that. I assume you leave the door unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, one last thing. Since I know that Miriam's going to be with us, would it be possible for me to go to the alchemist store and buy a half a dozen naloxone
Half a dozen what?
medication? Naloxone medication?
Zari doesn't know what that is.
It's a medication that quickly reverses overdoses of opioids.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I will say that feels like it's like
The old Narcan.
40 gold, we'll say.
Yeah.
Feels like it's a little bit more on the expensive side. So I'll call
It's
it
worth it.
40 gold a piece.
Okay.
And that will, for the sake of this, neutralize any poison that is brought upon by some sort of drug thing, including certain plants. So.
Nice. It's just generally useful, but mostly an anti-Miriam or a neutralized Miriam.
I will... Yeah, that's what that does, and that's what that is. So go ahead and purchase as many as you would like and subtract the gold for that.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Any other preparations?
I will tell Shelia while she's prepping in the morning. I'll pop by, and as I'm helping her kind of like crack eggs, get the bacon ready, get some vegetables up and ready for stuff. Go, oh, by the way, going on a quest. Might be gone for a month. I didn't take any of your supplies. You bit off my hand last time I tried to do that.
Me bite off your hand? I would never.
Yep. And then he very quickly goes through the rundown of like, deep cleans this is all good, this stock is all good, this should be coming in next week for inventory.
This goes
like,
on for a while.
Yeah.
Celia's just giving you her very soft grin of like she looks so nice, but you know that she's just a little scary. And she goes, good, you did a great job.
Alright, cool. If I survive, I'll be back. And, no, you still can't have my chili recipe.
Fine, but you better make up for it and bring me something exciting back.
I will. How about this? If I die, it is hidden somewhere in my apartment. If you remember where that is. Probably not. If I die, the recipe somewhere in my apartment, all yours.
You say that like I'm not going to go ransack your apartment looking for it while you're gone.
Well, maybe I'm lying to you about where it is.
Maybe you are. We'll see.
And he'll just kind of like pat her on the shoulder and go, oh, and vegetables are all cut for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Have a good...
Be safe.
Always.
You walk out. She's a little scary, so you like have like a moment of decompress.
Just like, alright.
Okay. Sheila, did you have anything that you wanted to do?
No, I don't think so.
Okie dokie. So you all come and gather in the morning. It's pretty early. There's a little bit of like a cold in the air as you gather together in the tavern. I assume Kieran has food for you all ready to go.
Oh yeah, we got some nice egg and grits and some very warm fluffy rolls, some sausages, a couple of very thick slices of bacon.
You're making me hungry. I want breakfast food now.
Bold of you to assume this wasn't the goal.
Oh no! Sad, I'm always hungry when we talk about food. Okay. Oh, my Lanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check to make sure Sheila's doing alright after her time. And whisper, yeah, just like 75% shot, you're not gonna have a great time afterwards. Cool? Cool?
I always have a great time.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. So, you all are ready to set off, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's get rolling. So you set off. The smell of the port and sea fading behind you as you begin your travel north. Your small band is accompanied by several others on the road. As this is a pretty normal trail that a lot of people travel here. You see it's pretty easy for you to pass them. You see trade embargoes with carts and guards, multiple cheerful workers. You see traveling merchants with their movable shops packed into carts. Smells of spices and the occasional glint of something magical. There is families traveling, weary parents with joyful children skipping through the fields on either side of the roads. It's about a day's travel to the Crossroads, which is a small little town made to be a stopping point where the two large roads of Rosewick converge. With the sun painting splashes of pinks, purples, and oranges, and the moon's already in the sky, you follow the path into the town. There's wooden shops and inns lining the main road, which opens up to a central large area where other two roads converge. The pathways have been worn into the fields surrounding, giving way for a large open-air market, populated with the various traveling merchants of carts, booths, tents, and even simple blankets are set out, with people milling about. The scent of spices, street food, and incense fills your senses, and there's children racing by you in some sort of game of tag. Many merchants seem to be closing up shop for the evening here in the crossroads with the setting sun and heading towards the campgrounds on the outskirts of town or to one of the many taverns and inns. Would you guys like to camp for the evening or your first evening out, or are you going to kind of stay in one of the inns?
Since this is Lydia's last chance to sleep on a regular bed for a while, she's definitely going to go into an inn.
Yep, Miriam's not going to be cruel to her sciatica.
Kieran will just shrug and go, alright, let's go.
Okay. There's quite a few taverns and inns in the area, but I feel like with Lydia kind of leading the charge here, that you guys would end up at the Third Book Pub, just because it has book in the name, and it's probably intriguing. The symbol has a pretty cool looking book on it, and you walk in and there seems to be like a floor-to-ceiling library that Lydia kind of gives you a little bit as you're looking at it. This is like a travelers come in, leave their well-worn books, and take other books, and they're like sticky and they're not organized, and it is like books upon everything, and some of them are like very abused. So it kind of gives you a little bit of not great there, but it is a very cozy pub. It's not very ruckus, which is really nice. Run by a very pretty half-elf with brown hair who's kind of bustling around and grinning at everybody, and occasionally you see someone come through the door from the kitchen, who kind of taller looking human man who like presses a kiss to the top of her head as he like bustles around her and grabs some stuff and goes back into the kitchen. But the food's delicious and it's very cozy. There's a couple people in here, but they seem to all be kind of minding to themselves. You get the sense that you managed to find the quiet area. So, is there anything specifically that you would like to do this evening, or are you...
Kieran will just try to distract Lydia from the chaos and the grubbiness that is the books in the store by asking her about, like, so what research did you pull about, like, our travels? Anything of note? Anything important for us to, like, pay attention to?
Well, we might be accosted by saber-tooths and mammoths.
Okay. Maybe I should bring some of that back for Cecilia. Anyway.
But, okay, I think it's time to talk about this. Out of the four of us, I think the only two competent people here are myself and Kieran, but we don't have a lot of battle experience.
I mean, I've got
Whoa,
battle.
buddy. Just because you're going to throw words like competent around does not make me not competent.
Well, I would have said you're competent, but you left a guild, and I'm not sure if you were kicked out or you left on your own.
I left on my own.
Why did you leave?
Because Izzy and Lillian, they were holding me back.
Well, what is your fighting style, Sheila? What, do you do arcane stuff? I see the book.
I'll, major illusion, a battle of me kicking Izzy and Lillian's ass.
Oh! He chuckles a little bit. Alright.
Is this fiction, or is this real life?
Are you saying that out loud, or do you want to make an insight check?
I'm saying that out
loud. The major image will end with Lillian and Izzy trapped in a force cage and me walking away with a staff that you see an identical version of on my back. So I will not answer your question.
Okay, so, Matt, wizard?
You saw multiple times me hitting them with weapons and casting spells.
Okay.
Or maybe
Okay.
just punching them.
So
Okay.
you're using your fist, your axe, and now you have a staff.
Let's just say I'm versatile.
You're just collecting
Alright.
all the weapons, aren't you?
No, I let them all go just for my staffy waffy right here.
No, very cool. All right. I'm mostly melee, but I can cast not too many, but a decent handful of some fun extra damage spells or some buffs and debuffs and whatnot. Not too many, but enough to get by in a pinch.
I'm best at bringing my opponents into submission. And
Like,
I support
via
my
arms?
allies.
Or via spells.
Kieran just nods.
Both.
Oh. Well, I imagine old Glammy over there just tricks people into doing stuff, and I glare at her.
Miriam will grin. Aw, Sheila, I'm hurt. You know what? To make up for it, and Sheila's gonna take out a necklace that has a little bottle with a swirling thing of sparks in it. Here, you ever need to get to me, or if you need to, boost yourself just a little bit, just, put a little into it.
She'll
Kieran.
put it on her neck. It's a necklace, right?
Yeah, it's the talisman for warlocks.
Okay, I'll put it on my neck.
Kieran's so excited. He hasn't seen this in a hot minute. He's like, yes. Yes.
Besides, I can keep anything away from you guys as long as I'm able to get in a good couple hits. And I've got, well, a lot of fire. A lot of fire.
More flash.
Okay, so a pyromaniac, respect.
I can also do magic of a lot of other kinds, and I can summon some stuff to help us out, but of course, Fires only gives me so many spell slots a day, so much energy.
Oh, also, he pulls out his lute. I'm also very good at, instruments.
Play me a tune. I'm so excited.
I will play a, fun little shanty, about a sailor and the barmaid. And, right when I start talking about how he sweeps her onto, his lap with her skirts lifted up, I'll kind of, cut it out.
Well, I'll major image the story as she goes.
Oh my
Awesome.
gosh. Great. You are garnering some attention. There's a kind of a smaller looking mousy human with her hair on top of her head reading in the corner, and she's listening to this, and you watch her eyes just creep above the book, and she is wide-eyed blushing, and then she goes back to her book.
Has a really nice baritone voice, just a little bit of rasp. So it sounds like he's got a lot of practice for it.
Alrighty. Any other conversation that you wish to have as you, settle in for one of your last nights in a inn?
I'm all good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh, go ahead.
Although Lydia's gonna spend half the night just reorganizing the entire bookshelves.
Okay.
Dang it! I did not fully persuade her.
Oh my goodness.
You never stood a chance.
I know, but you know
Yeah.
what? He tries sometimes.
Alrighty. Okay, so you rest for the evening and set off at the morning light, a crisp air filling your lungs as you head up the east road, bright colors of the sunrise painting the skies over the forest in the distance. Weeks of travel are before you, taking you through a large farming hub of Orsted in the and into the Ariellen forest. Here, I can actually kind of show you on the map if you want to see a little bit. So, you guys came from here at Nassau. This is the crossroads right here, and you hung a right, and then this is, Oristed, and then you carried on into the Ariellen forest here. There's days of plodding along. You entertain yourselves with conversations and stories, with many nights of camping, and then 2 nights in small inns, I assume you choose, in Oristed. And then this little village called the Outpost right here. In a little under 2 weeks into your journey, you depart the outpost. The small village is roughly 2 days west from the large forest city of Ariellen, right here. And you're going to venture off the beaten trail due north towards the Aegeus Mountains. This part of your journey is much more difficult. You're traversing through the forest. There are several hunting trails that you can follow, but the majority of them end up turning east or west, and your destination tends to be a little bit more north. So I believe that Lydia is leading this journey, yes?
I believe.
Apparently, yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make a survival check for me.
Okay. That is a 23.
Nice! Okay, so you stay on track. You are very confident in where you are going. You do occasionally hear herds of animals come through. There was some dire wolves off in the distance as you rest, but they don't seem to bother you, or they stay away from your fire. And you have no problems carrying on north. And you go north, but you also go a tiny bit west and kind of end up over here. And it takes you about 5 days, and you get the sense that you killed it. You went very quickly. But in the last couple days, the more temperate weather has grown colder, and the trees without leaves and the ground is frozen here. So it's getting a little bit colder. And so actually, I do want to ask you guys, what do your companions learn about you during this travel time? And when you have some free time in the evenings, how do you spend your time? So let's take a chance to get to learn our characters here. Let's just run down the line. Kieran, what do they learn about you?
Kieran is, he looks to be about his mid-50s. He likes to chit-chat with people a lot. He likes to tell a lot of fun stories, sing for people, cook. However, Shelia, you in particular would know this after a handful of nights. He loves to cook. He almost never eats anything. He'll, like, taste test stuff while he's, like, trying things. But he'll never, like, eat, like, a full meal with you guys. He also, anything else in particular? If you're looking for anything, like, weird or strange about him, he has a, think, like, shadowy black tattoo around his left ring finger, and it crawls up his hand somewhat. But, he's very friendly, and, like, he's super down to, like, chit-chat with you. He wants to see, like, bits of your magic if you want to, like, show anything cool off. And tends to be pretty easygoing.
And actually, those who are a little bit more perceptive would notice that the tattoo on Kieran's left hand, it moves. It doesn't just, not visible to the eye, but it changes. And so sometimes it'll be just a little black design around his ring finger. Other times it'll creep up his hand. There's one time where it actually fully enwraps his wrist, and then another time that his palm is covered in black swirls. And it changes day to day. And you haven't noticed a pattern through it all, especially since Kieran's usually pretty cheerful. It doesn't seem to move with his mood or anything along those lines.
Oh, and if you stare at him for too long, you'll realize that he will just go, like, deathly still, and it doesn't even look like things are moving.
Especially when he's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lydia, what do they learn about you along this 2.5 week journey?
that Lydia is miserable. She is very much a city goblin. She is complaining day in and day out about how cold it is, how dirty she is, that she would kill to have a shower, that there's always a stone underneath her bed roll. She is not happy, and she's making sure that everybody knows about it.
Kieran would try to help you out.
I have something for this.
Oh?
Is it drugs?
So first 2 days of travel, once we well, yes, but 2 days of travel, whenever we start getting into the actual rough and tumble things, you see that Miriam just like immediate. It's the morning. She's traveled for an hour. She vanishes right into her little hollowed phoenix statue. And after like those 2 days of Miriam, like of Lydia, like really complaining, sweetheart, you do not need to go through all of this and bust your butt. Come on. And she will actually take you into her vessel, which looks like it's a room about 20 foot in radius and it's 20 feet high. The sides look almost ceramic and they are painted with just red swirls everywhere. There are rugs, there are cushions. It is pretty much the lap of luxury inside of here. And every day for about 10 hours or however long you want, Miriam will let you in and let you escape the miserable traveling. And you can also hear outside of it.
Oh my god, it's like a clown threw up all over the place.
Do you want to be comfortable or not?
Well, I guess this will do.
Yeah,
Thank
get back.
you, she says with a barred teeth.
I can always kick you out.
That won't be necessary.
That's what I thought. Miriam gives you a smile.
Okay. Is there anything else that they would learn about Lydia, Candle?
No. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. She would use the entire time to complain.
Sounds good. What about you, Miriam? You reveal this to Lydia, but is there anything else that they would learn about you?
Well, I mean, yes, Miriam absolutely is not actually riding or walking. She's just tying that bottle to her mule and then letting it do the travel for her. But Miriam also, she tends to tell a lot of stories, especially about her time in the Plane of Fire. She was stuck there for about 2 decades, so she has a lot of tales, especially one about the time where she got stuck in between the conflict of a couple of fire salamanders. And it was a whole mess. Miriam also tends to, occasionally at night, just light up a torch and talk into the flame for about 30 minutes at a time. She uses the name Fayez very often, and she's very open. But yes, she's talking to her patron.
Okay. And what about Shelia?
You would find out that Sheila is very strong-willed and kind of probably a little arrogant. Like anytime you guys maybe come across other travelers, she will not go around them. She'll always go right through them, make them go around her. She'll never be rude, but she will make them go around her. You find that she never utters like a complaint of any kind. She takes everything in stride and always seems pretty upbeat and positive. She'll tell stories along the way about things she's done, and anytime you hear of whether it be Lillian and Izzy or someone else that she's gone up against, she may talk as she's better than them, but there's always a hint of respect for anyone who she sees as an opponent.
Okay. Sounds good. So you learn those things about each other. And this particular morning, as you reach the north of the Ariellen forest here, you notice that you begin to see a lot more hints of green again, as there's been a lot of frozen trees and kind of trees without leaves, but you notice that there's more carnivorous trees here that are kind of interspersed, and their scent is fresh in the air. It grows a little bit warmer and a little bit more humid, a sure hint of snow, maybe later in the day, and you haven't come across another party or even signs of one in roughly 4 days. As the mountains between the trees grow closer and taller, the trees begin to grow less dense, and the gray sky is apparent as the snow begins to lightly fall in iridescent, heavy flakes. One more evening of camping, and the snow melts pretty quickly and not impeding your journey, and you come to the foot of the mountains and find a faint path skating around the foothills, which, Lydia, you had seen. But welcome to the Vutherfold. And I think that this is where we are going to take a little bit of a break. So we will be back in about 10 to 10-ish minutes, so right on the hour. And we will see you guys for the rest of the adventure right after that. Welcome back, friends. And we're back into our adventure here. I hope you had a lovely break. And so, just a little bit of a recap for those who maybe have missed, or for those who space out in 10 minutes like I do. We met our intrepid adventurers, the heroes of this journey, as they were gathered into a meeting room in the Wyvern Wing Adventuring Guild of Rosewick. And so, one of the members of the guild that several of them knew and not all of them loved, let them know that she hasn't heard from her mentor, Tobias, who has been in the north for quite a few years doing some investigation of various magical means as he had left the guild, and that she was contacted by him in a dream where she also saw glimpses of giants and the stars and other intriguing things, as well as their energies. And so she gathered the group together and asked them to go venture north to this wizard's tower to try to find some information about what he was after, what he was going on, and then track him down, and assist him in whatever endeavor he was doing, and maybe got caught, or in trouble. And so the group gathered all of their stuff, got to know each other a little bit, and set off, traveling from the guild center in Nassau through the crossroads, through, I'm blanking on the name of the city, through the outpost, and continued on north and into Vutherfold. They managed to make their way towards a small little trail that runs along the Aegeus Mountains over here, and are kind of setting off on that part of the journey. So we sweep back in to our intrepid adventurers who are windswept and travel weary, but not looking too worse for the wear. Several even look a little bit like liberated to be on the road. Lydia looks miserable, and Miriam spends most of the day riding in her what's it called again?
It's a hollowed out statuette of a fox.
Okay, riding in her phoenix. So as the afternoon sun begins to set as you turn west, though, you're walking into a very colorful sky, and an odd scent is in the air. So for those who are kind of walking along the road, I will ask you to make a perception check, please, and thank you.
I think that's just Shelia and Kieran at this point.
I mean, yeah, probably. It's pretty cold. Oh,
shoot!
You are still on DM mode. Kieran rolled a 13. Lydia, are you out and walking on the road?
Yes, unless there's a way for me to ride. I know we had a donkey, but I think Miriam was using it.
She's in a bottle on the donkey. Basically a bottle on the donkey's side, so the donkey's free.
Okay.
Lydia will have her pride and be as far away as Miriam as possible.
Got it.
So she's walking.
Okay. Shelia, do you want to make a perception check, or are you vibing?
No, there's no need to embarrass myself.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so Kieran, you kind of pick up this weird scent of decaying meat, as well as the occasional sound of a bash of rocks in the distance. Lydia, you pick up a little bit more. It smells like horrible BO. You hear clashing of rocks, and I'm trying to remember the languages you know, and I don't think you know this. So you hear what sound like voices in a language you do not understand, in the middle of some sort of argument.
I must know, is this giant?
You don't hear that.
Okay.
Because if it is, I can understand giant.
You can? I thought I checked everybody's languages.
Oh, I definitely can.
I also understand giant.
I know that Shelia and Kieran did. I didn't realize that you did too. Maybe my eyes just glossed over it. Okay, so you do understand this. And it seems that there are some giants off in the distance, thanks to your 24 perception check, that you do understand. And they seem to be having an argument. You hear a louder voice yelling about, like, the state of the meat, and then you hear another voice, like, really sad and kind of, like, crying a little. But yeah, you hear that kind of off a little bit ahead of you in the mountains.
Okay, guys, we might have company. Got a few giants up ahead.
Yeah,
It might cause trouble.
I'll second that. Is there question? I feel like I know this. Miriam, is there a way for me to like contact you while you're in
Oh,
there?
I can hear you guys. So just
Alright.
after Lydia says that, you just see like a little poof of smoke start to rise from the phoenix's mouth, and then Miriam reforms. Alrighty, I was starting to get a little bored.
She graces us with her appearance.
Yes, I do.
Great.
Okay.
So, are we trying to? I think the most prudent way to approach this is just to give them a wide berth, and avoid them.
Sounds good. So I don't know too much. Are they on our way, Lydia? From what you've seen in research?
They're often about. Well, I can't pinpoint their location, but yes, they're in the general vicinity of being in our way.
Okay.
Shelia, have you had any encounters with giants?
Oh yeah.
Do you have any tips?
Just outsmart them.
Well, that shouldn't be too difficult.
No, usually not. As long as they're not cloud giants, those are some sneaky little bastards.
They are.
Duly noted.
Well, in that case, we'll give them a wide berth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you tracking off the trail and going a little bit north?
Well, it was my understanding that there was no trail. That
No, there is a little bit of a trail along the side of the mountains here.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I guess we would go off the trail.
Okay. So, as you continue off of the trail, I will let you argue some sort of check if you're trying to stay hidden. So you could argue, like, a stealth check. You could argue that you're trying to, like, cover your trail and do a survival. So is there a way that you want to go about this, or are you just going to try to, like, give it a wide berth?
Stealth. I'm happy to do some stealthy stealth.
Yeah, one moment. Let me look at this, because I need to... Actually...
Yeah, we'll do some stealth.
I'm going to give myself a flying speed of 30 feet and just, like, hover 10 feet off the ground so I don't make any noise while I move.
Okay, cool. I'll give you advantage on a stealth check for that.
I'll kind of pull away from the party, up ahead a little bit by about like 30, 45 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of start slinking.
Okay.
I will give Sheila guidance. Are you telling her exactly the best stealthing methods that I've read in a book?
Sheila will half-heartedly pretend to stealth.
Okay, for those who are stealthing, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Oof.
I got a 14.
Oh, wait, why do I... What?
The bad rolls begin.
Who talked to Sly today?
Sly talked to Sly today.
Lydia was too busy noting everything Sheila was doing wrong that she forgot that she was doing all of those same things wrong too.
Why is that so fitting? Okay, dang. Hold on. 14... Okay, so you guys feel like you're being pretty stealthy as you go off the beaten path, and you kind of loop through some of the trees in the area. Listening very closely, especially you, Lydia, with that perception score from earlier, you hear them get louder and louder. And you kind of like, you don't see in the distance, but you just see like evidence, and you hear like a rock crash and then some rocks rolling down the side of the little bit of the foothills that are happening here. And then suddenly you hear, "Hey, did you hear that?" And one of them goes, and then you hear like a big smack noise, and he goes, You're not supposed to hear it anyway. You're so stupid. And then the lady's voice that you heard first go, no, I think there's something down there. And you hear like noises of things moving and stuff happening. And kind of peer through some of the trees, and you see off to your left a bit, kind of stalking down the mountain in front of you, what could only be described as hill giants. So Shelia, you would recognize this, as well as Lydia, you would probably recognize this from the books that you've read. I feel like, Kieran, did you encounter many giants while you were in the north?
Couple. Most of the time it was like oh fuck, and like running off.
Okay.
There was a couple I tried to talk to before they were like, I'd like to eat you now, and I was like, no thank you.
Okay, so you recognize, most of you recognize these as hill giants. You see two main ones coming towards you. Both appear to be male, with pockmarked skin and like scars everywhere, very weathered and slouchy. One of them wears stitched together skins and a loincloth. The most prominent, dirty white wolf with its head still attached and like rotting. The other sports a leather wrap around his chest that has heads of various large animals and several humanoid heads dangling from it. Both are hefting large rocks in one hand and a great club in the other. And you see a female giant trailing behind them. Her dark blonde hair is caked with mud and in dreads, half of it pulled up into a top knot and tied up with a large bone. She's dressed in brown leathers, a green band around her arm that appears to have been some larger person's shirt, and several small pouches line her waist. Small for her. Around her neck lies a huge amulet that has various stones decorating it and covered in carvings. She also carries a great club and has a spark of energy that is coming from her that's dashing through the air around you. And they seem to have spotted you.
Well, this can't be helped. I guess we'll have to prepare for battle.
Mm-hmm.
Is the girl also a hill giant?
Yes, she is.
So how big are these hill giants?
They are huge. So they are about 20 feet tall, very large, and they take up a lot of space. So you guys are kind of in the forest over here. So since you went off the beaten path a little bit there. So, sorry. Roll20 got an update and it's throwing me off a little bit, not gonna lie.
I both like it and like it.
There's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, I think. Bloop.
I said I was like 30-ish feet ahead, so I'm gonna myself like go and
Oh no! I put him on the map layer.
Oh.
That's not very helpful. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, so you're about 30 feet ahead. That's where the rest of you guys were. Is there anything in this moment as they're charging for you that you wish to do or prepare? They are hefting rocks and they look aggressive.
Yeah. Am I able to cast a spell?
Sure. I'll give you like a roundish to cast a spell because they have they had a little bit of ground to cover to get to their point.
Alrighty. Can I cast synaptic static on Necklace Gal?
Sure.
Help.
Within 120 feet. Yeah, cool. So it's centered on her.
Yep. So, centered on her, and it'll affect each of them.
Okay. So they must make an intelligence saving throw or take psychic damage. Nice. Okay. Sounds good. I'm gonna do that quickly. What's your DC?
My DC is 18.
Okay. One of them rolled a natural 20, and it still failed. And I think that I'm gonna allow it to still fail. I think that's really funny. Okay.
I love
Yeah,
They're
they
great.
all fail. So as they're charging towards you, hefting rocks, one of them looks like he's about ready to, the guy with the strap around his chest looks like he's about ready to chuck a fucking rock at you. Miriam just points out and boom, it explodes in a whole bunch of energy there, and they all seem to clutch their heads. It did not feel good to them, and so since they failed, they now have to subtract a d6 on things.
All attack rolls, ability checks, constitution saving throws, and it can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect.
Okay, is that concentration?
Yes.
Okay.
No, no, it isn't.
No,
Oh.
it's not. It's just isn't. That's so OP. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that spell. Okay.
May I'm just as an action. Oh, my screen just went black. Hold on. I will as an action, release my pack weapon.
Okay.
So, if anyone's looking over towards me, he doesn't really have, like, he's got, like, a dagger on his side and, like, a chef knives. And he's never really ever had, like, a particular weapon, and he just whips out this very nice looking rapier that casts, like, a little bit of moonlight from him.
Okay, interesting. In this, like, moment of preparation, I probably won't allow any more, like, aggressive actions without them retaliating, because they're about to throw some rocks, but is there any, like, other quickly brief preparation things that you guys want to do?
I would like to hold an action if possible.
Yeah, sure. What is your
So-
action? What do you want to hold?
If they come within 60 feet of me, if two of them come within 60 feet of me, I'd like to cast a level 2 command.
Okay. Just so you're aware, they are like 100 feet from you, and while they do have big steps, they're probably not going to get that close to you within a round.
Well, boo.
So I'm just letting, like, Lydia's pretty smart, so I figured she'd pick up on that.
Yeah.
So you would expend a spell for no reason? So,
In that case, I will not do anything.
okay, cool. Where's initiative? There it is. I figured it out. Okay, Shorty, do you have any preparation you want to do?
Nah.
Alrighty, well in that case, I think it is time, everybody, for us to roll some initiatives.
Woohoo!
Oh. Why didn't my initiative not happen? Would you mind adding my token to initiative, sorry? For whatever reason.
Absolutely. You rolled a 22?
No, the first roll was 20.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. See,
Thank you.
I'm missing a Kieran initiative.
Yeah. It's because my stuff decided to take. Also, I'm so sad. I wasted a nat 20. It decided to roll stealth randomly again for me.
Oh no.
And my stuff was glitching out. Such a glorious nat 20.
Okay. So as these as these giants come rushing towards you, moving very quickly, the two ones in the front hefting a large boulder each, Miriam shoots off this spell and it explodes in a burst of energy as they begin to clutch their heads, but it does not deter them from rushing forward. In this moment, Kieran had released his packed weapon, and it seems that this is going to be a bit of a tangle for at least the time being. They are very aggressive, and most of you know hill giants to be very aggressive, even though they are dumb. So, unless there's a way that you guys want to get around this, you are fighting for the time being. And we are entering our first combat. Okay, Kieran, top of the round. What are you doing?
Alrighty. Well, these fine folk, are pretty far out, so I am going to point my rapier at them and cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll start with, dumb one over here.
Okay.
We have 24.
24 definitely hits.
I'll do all three, so let's do all three. So we have a 24, a 13, and an 8.
A 13 does actually hit.
Damn!
Just hits.
Alright. so that'll be a total of
Oh, jeez.
3. That was some nice damage. on
30,
that last one.
nice.
That'll be a total of 30 damage.
Okay.
As a brilliant it looks like initially with a blue light, but it quickly coalesces to this very gorgeous green and black. Shoom. And I'm aiming for Ugly's shoulder, holding the great club.
Okay. So as you shoot off just 3 bursts of this dark, kind of, you said greenish energy?
Yeah.
And it smacks into his shoulders, and it seems that he gets angrier and angrier the more the blasts hit him, and he's like hefting his rock and staring you down a little bit, and it seems to have hurt him a lot, and already there's this like kind of dark sluggish blood dripping from him. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, bonus action hide.
Alrighty, you can do that?
Yeah, 3 levels of rope, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Cool. Can I take that nat 20 I got earlier?
No.
Damn. 27 though.
Okay. You duck back, but are you moving at all?
Yeah, you know what? I'll duck back behind this tree.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Ducking back behind that tree. That ends your turn. Lydia, are you ready to go? And Sheila on deck.
Yeah, Lydia is gonna confidently saunter over here with a dash bonus action while adjusting her glasses, then crack out her whip, and cast a level 2 command on those 2 giants.
Okay. What's the saving throw there?
It is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, cool. And I do get to subtract a d6 from that because of the synaptic static. Does that go for saving throws?
Let me read back at it. Subtracts the number rolled from all attack rolls and ability checks, as well as Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. So,
Okay.
if it's not con to maintain concentration, no.
Okay, cool. What's your DC, Lydia?
18.
Okay, they both failed. One of them failed with a 0.
Great. I am just gonna crack my whip and yell, "Sit!"
Okay. And for command, it works on, they spend their turn doing it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Are you staying there?
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope. That's all I do.
Alrighty. Sheila, what are you doing?
Sheila will get closer, I think. Oh no, she doesn't need to. Sheila will cast slow on all 3 of them.
Okay. What is the save for that?
18 wisdom save.
Okay. Oh. Okay, so the 2 big dudes definitely fail that, but the woman behind just succeeds. Okay, so -2, and they can't. Okay, so these 2 are under the effects of slow, and then the woman did manage to succeed. What does that look like as you cast that?
Her hands glow purple, and she kind of just lobs a slow ball that way that expands into a big hemisphere of purple, and everybody caught in it just kind of glows a little purple color.
Okay, cool. Any movement?
Yeah, I moved up 30 feet.
Oh, cool. I see that now. Any bonus action or anything?
Nope.
Alrighty, that's the end of your turn. These guys, now slowed and commanded, are just going to, like, you see them kind of move very slowly, and then they just plop down where they are on the hill there. It's very comical, actually, but they spend their turn doing that. Thanks to the command. Okay, Miriam.
Alrighty, Miriam's going to move up a little bit, very much staying behind a tree, but she's going to reach a hand out, and you watch as 6 little phoenixes basically just shoot from her fingertips towards this lady. And I'm going to use my action and bonus action to cast Eldritch Blast.
Nice.
14.
Okay. 14 does not hit. 22 does.
Alrighty, the 22 deals an extra 5 fire damage.
Beautiful, beautiful.
3. That's 4.
Okay. So,
That's 5.
Jesus.
More.
6.
Oh my gosh, and a nat 20. Okay, so all except for that first one hit, so that's 15 damage. 15, 26, 41, 48, and then
First time.
56. There we go. I think I did that right.
One of them, I'll do this. This woman is just getting pummeled backwards.
Yeah, pretty much. So she's just getting pummeled backwards. However, she does seem to hold her ground. She's a hefty lady. And you actually see like a burst of energy come from her feet as she like leans forward and her feet go into the ground. And she takes all of these hits and she is angry and she is staring at you.
I duck behind the tree.
Okay, sounds good. And it is now her turn. All right. So, she is going to run forward to here. This gets to... come on, why are you not snapping to any of the spaces? It's fine, whatever. She's like here. Okay. Cool. So she rushes forward to there, and is going to use her great club against you to try to get you to break the... She doesn't quite understand that you're not necessarily concentrating on the command. So that's a 22 to hit.
It hits.
Okay, so you take 7 bludgeoning damage. 17 bludgeoning damage. And as she does this, you see just like a burst of energy wrap around her club and a thunderous crack appears as she smacks it into you. You take 7 additional thunder damage for a total of 24. Okay, and then she yells out in just kind of like a roar. And in a moment of just like pure anger, especially since you tried to cast a spell on her, Shelia, she gathers in her offhand, just like you see magical rocks begin to appear and pop out of nowhere, out of these crackles of energy, and she's going to throw...
Is that counterspellable or no?
Nope, it is not.
Okay.
But she is going to throw that at you, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's a 21.
Okay. Why is it a 21?
I'm concentrating. I get a +2.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, with a 21...
Oh, I'm sorry. I get a +4. It's a 23.
Okay, it saves either way. So it just deals this energy to you. You manage to dodge out of the way of these rocks that, as they're flying, they grow larger in size. And you managed to dodge out of the way where it would have, knocked you down and held you down to the ground. But they still do, as they slam into the ground, bursts of thunderous energy come from them. And you take... Let me just double check if this is halved. Okay. You take halved energy. So that's 6 thunder damage.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your con save for slow though.
28.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. Okay, cool. And she's gonna stay right there, and that is the end of her turn. Okay. Kieran, how do you retaliate?
Alright, sorry. I got a quick question. I know it's a bit wibbly-wobbly. Am I technically, able to melee range hit her if I'm in one of these squares?
Cece, will you drop your measurement for a moment? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're fine.
Cool.
Yeah,
Then I
her
will-
thing is not snapping exactly to the grid for some reason, so, but yeah, you can hit her if you're in one of those squares.
Okay, cool. She doesn't play with it.
She's big.
Alright, I will use my action and my bonus action to dash.
Okay.
I will put a little self right here and go, hello! And I
You mean
will...
your movement and your bonus action to dash?
Yes.
Okay. Cool, cool.
I will go, hello! And I will, attack her.
Cool.
22 hit.
Yup.
Alrighty, that'll be 13 piercing and 15 sneak attack.
Cool, cool.
Got an enemy, and then I attack her again. Alrighty, this is a 16 hit.
16 does hit.
Alright, and she will take additional 9 piercing.
Okay. Alright, as
And I'll
you...
go,
Oh, go ahead.
and I'll say, it's not very nice to just hit the lady.
In giant?
Yes.
Okay. So as you rush forward, you take 2 quick slashes kind of in her general shin knee area. Because that's pretty much what you can reach. And she kind of glares at you and says, I am a lady. I hit who I want.
Oh, also, can I, on one of those attacks, expend a bardic inspiration and use a flourish?
Sure.
Cool. I would like to, use my mobile flourish,
Okay.
which I'll deal an extra d6 of damage, and I push her 5 feet back.
Do I get to make a saving throw for that?
Nope.
Okay. Bloop.
And then I can use my reaction to move, into an unoccupied space, so I will then... Is she technically, out of range with Lydia? Like, would she be able to melee attack Lydia from there?
Yeah, you get the sense that her reach is a little bit further than where she charged up to. She's a big club and long arms.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, I've got 10 more feet of movement since I used attack action, because I'm cool like that, and I will stick myself right here in front of Lydia.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Okay,
Cool. Thank you.
Lydia,
That's all.
you watch all this happen in front of you, Kieran ducking in front of you. What are you doing?
I will yell at the big lady and say, how dare you attack me? And I will point to this dude and say, you dare attack her back. Make sure to kill her real good and cast suggestion on it.
Will you display suggestion for me?
Yes, ma'am. Oops, never mind. Let me try that again.
So... Attacking another creature feels very out of the realm of suggestion, because it would be a pretty harmful act, in my humble opinion, for a 2nd level spell. That feels like a little bit more in the realm of the kind of like dominate monster, dominate person type thing. If you wanted to still try it, then I would maybe make a roll for it, or suggest a roll for it.
Okay, I still want to do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you do like let's do an intimidation check to try to see if you can get this hill giant under your magic there.
And I argue I have advantage because I already submitted him by making him sit.
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's a 23.
Okay, good to know. Cool, I will make that wisdom saving throw there. Okay, so he does not make the wisdom save, and you get the sense that he might be willing to attack, especially as he like stares in you stare him in the eyes, and he looks like he's very slowly starting to cry a little bit. He seems a bit weaker, a little bit more less strong-willed, but you're not 100% positive how long it'll hold there.
I will just confidently turn my back on all of them and just sway my hips and go back towards the tree line.
Okay, the lady, you were in her reach, and so she is going to take an attack of opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so you take 22 bludgeoning damage and 12 thunder damage. So a total of 34 damage as you saunter away.
That's fine.
Okay,
I can take it.
Go ahead and make me a concentration check, though.
Is it concentration? It is.
It is, so a constitution
Mark.
saving throw.
Alright. That's a 4. That's an 8, so.
Okay. So, you cast the spell, and you seem to pull him under your view, but she goes, "No, he listens to me!" and, like, smashes her great club into you, and the burst of energy that comes from it just knocks you out of your concentration. And it seems that, yes, he does listen to her.
Oh, her and I are gonna have some words.
Okay, but you do make it back to the tree line. Okay, Sheila, what do you do?
Sheila will just use her action to try and Ray of Frost the lady.
Okay.
She crit.
Nice.
So 23 cold damage.
Okay.
And then she'll just jump forward more.
Cool. Sounds good. As the ray of frost kind of like batters her right in the face, and it blocks her vision for a second, and you see as the poof of like this cold energy clears that she looks really angry, but her face looks half frozen. Okay. It is now these giants' turn. This one is going to slow inhibit their movement. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's half, so they both should have quarter movement this turn because they're prone.
True, they were prone. So they get up. He can only move. I think it's. Yep, I was right. Don't question yourself, sorry.
Always question yourself. Sorry.
No.
For me?
Here. Okay. So this one in front of you, Sheila, is going to throw a rock at you. It looks like he is too scared to try to retaliate against Lydia. So that is a 24 to hit.
I'll shield so it misses.
Dang it.
Is that with D6 subtracted?
Oh no, I forgot. So
Oh, I may not shield then.
that's a 19, which misses.
Yeah.
Darn it. Okay, cool. And then this one is going to say, "Don't hurt my wife," except for it's in very slow, like, terms in giant. So, Lydia, most of you understand this except for Miriam. But, oh, okay, so minus the D6, that's a 24 to hit you, Lydia.
Wait, what? Is she throwing something at me?
Yeah, he's throwing
Okay.
a gigantic rock.
Gotcha. So, what is it to hit me?
24.
Damn, yeah, that hits.
Okay, so that's 13 bludgeoning damage as this giant rock, like, smacks into your shoulder. It doesn't quite, like, take you down, but it hurts a lot.
Okie dokie.
Okay, and that is all they can do, so that's the end of their turn.
They do make a wisdom save for slow.
Okay, thank you for reminding me.
And
So
that
18.
for the synaptic stack, but I don't know if they can even get to an 18.
Yeah, they cannot. So that's the end of their turn. They did not succeed.
Is it physically possible for them?
With the intelligence save, no.
It's a wisdom save.
No, for the synaptic static. They could
Oh.
They could possibly make it for a wisdom save. Okay, Miriam.
Alrighty, question. Can I guesstimate what slamming this woman into this rock behind her several times would do? Like, do I think that would be enough to trip her?
Make an intelligence check.
Absolutely. Got a good old +0 on this, baby! 9!
Okay, you're not sure. It might. There's a couple trees behind her.
Miriam will just kind of shrug, walk out. Then she's going to take 6 Eldritch Blasts at this lady. 1, 15,
Just hits.
1,
Misses. Hits.
is that? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 more.
Yep.
1, 2.
Okay, the 14 misses, so you have 4 that hit.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll all this damage together, and then the first one that hits has an extra +5 fire damage, and she is pushed 40 feet back for 55 damage total.
Nice.
Okay,
We're really
how many feet back?
40? No, not that way. Back, so back, this way.
North.
Thank you.
We really said, big lady, move!
Yeah, you're like yeeting her off my map. Okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna go, oh, she left! Miriam, I gotta chase her now!
Okay. Anything else, Miriam?
Nope, that's my turn.
Okay, it is her turn, and she is Angie, and she did not fall prone, so she's gonna take 40 feet of a rush forward. And
Hi!
bowl into Kieran. And then, what do I want to do? Let's do this. This is fun. You see a glowing energy come from her as she is angry and she's rushing forward, and just like a blast of energy that comes from her necklace. And she holds her hands out, and you see a gigantic hail of rocks falling from the sky on top of, she's going to 20-foot radius. So yeah, she'll center it on here so she doesn't hit herself. So Kieran and Shelia, can you make, yeah, it's not gonna hit you. Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Fighting.
Mine's a 14.
18.
Okay, so 18 succeeds. The 14 does not. So, Shelia, you take 31 points of bludgeoning damage and you are prone. Kieran, you take 15 points as you kind of are on the edge of it, and you manage to dodge out of the way, and you manage to stay standing there. Thank you for that con save. Okay, that is the end of her turn. Okay, Kieran, what are you doing?
That ouchie's hurt. I don't like that. Oh, can I, at the end of her turn before mine, use a reaction?
Sure.
I'm going to cast Hellish Rebuke on her.
Okay. Is that misses with or hits with an attack? Does it say specifically? Or just when you take damage?
It just says when I take damage.
Cool. Okay. Go for it.
And then I have a genuine question here.
I have a genuine
It is
answer.
a warlock spell, but I also have guard spell slots. Do I use my warlock spell slots, or can I use my bard spell?
Since it's under your warlock spell list, it needs to be used your warlock spells, and it's typically upcasted a bit.
Yep.
Wait, yeah.
Damn, that rolled like shit. DC 19 dex save.
Okay. 16, so I fail.
Yep. So you'll take the extra 12 fire damage.
Okay, so as the fire, you rebuke her, and you just see like a burst of bright green flame on her, in her hair specifically, and it's kind of singeing the side of her neck and face, and you just hear like a little amused giggle in the back of your head.
Alrighty.
She is not
Cool.
looking too good.
Alright. Awesome. Hey. this friendly guy's within 5 feet.
Yep.
I am going to attack her, but I'm going to use Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let's see if I know how to cast this. Awesome. Does a 16 hit her?
Yep, a 16 does hit.
Alright, so she will take the 10 piercing damage, and then the extra 10 fire damage.
Okay.
And then, since he is within 5 feet of her, you see the green flame, I kind of, throw another flame at her, and it jumps up to the flame in her hair, and then back at the guy behind. And he will take an extra 11 points of damage.
Okay.
And then she will also take 6 damage from my stick attack.
Okay, cool. How do you want to kill her?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, as I, go for the other attack, I'm gonna go, well, that hurt! I wasn't expecting that kind of attack. And, kind of, like, jump up and go for her eye, stab through.
Beautiful. So as you kind of climb this giant, you're pretty nimble, and so you climb up the side of this giant and manage to like find some purchase on her shoulder and stab your blade through her eye, and that fire leaps off and it just kind of dashes as if it has a mind of its own. And gathers the energy from the fire in her hair and sweeps and bashes into the guy behind her as she begins to fall right at his feet, and you jump off. I'm gonna say you're actually over here because it looks cool. You do like the cool jump off and landing, and as it timbers right in front of him, and he looks angry and he goes, "No," because he's still slowed. "My wife!" And he like glares at you in this anger, and that is that. Anything else?
Well, because I think this is funny, because I know he's slowed right now, so I'm gonna make him only take reaction, because I'm going to back off and I've got extra movement.
So he can take a reaction, Shorty?
No, he can't.
Okay, I was like, I don't think he can. Sorry, you clipped out when you were saying that, Sly, and so I was like, he can?
Yeah, no worries. I was gonna say, if he still can, because I don't know if he took an action or not, I'll, back off.
Yeah, you can back off.
He can't react because he's slowed.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I will get over here, and is there anything else I would like to do? I will look at Shelia and go, "Hey, we're doing great right now," and I will give her a bardic inspiration. So that's an extra d6.
Okay. And he does try to swing at you as you're running away in like his anger, but it's so slow that you're able to just dodge it, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Lydia. Candle?
I'm here. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna check to see if I can do this.
Okay.
No, it's not gonna work. I guess I'm just going to throw in a sacred flame at this dude, this badass.
Okay, sounds good.
Nope. So that is a dex save of 18 that they have to pass. If not, they take 11 points of radiant damage.
I'm pretty sure it has disadvantage from the slow. So that's a negative. That's a 0. I rolled a nat 1.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So 11 radiant damage from that.
And that will end my turn.
Okay, he's not looking too great either. Okay, Shelia.
I'll yell back to Kieran, "I always do great," and then I'll run up, and while I'm running, I'll drop my shield,
Okay.
and I'll jump off this rock and into the air, and I'll take a booming bladed great weapon master attack at it.
Oh my god. What
Fuck it up.
monstrosity did you make?
Yes! A beautiful one. What is it?
Oh, I don't want this to do this like this.
Ah! Ah!
I don't know how to do. All right, I'll just roll like.
Just do math for me. It's fine.
That's the least
So
you can
it's
do.
a 14.
Yeah, that definitely hits. Its AC is 11
Okay.
right now.
So terrible roll. It takes 18 plus booming blade damage.
Okay, okay.
So 18 plus 12, so 30 damage.
Okay.
And I'll take the rest of my movement back.
Cool. Yep, because he can't take a reaction. So you jump up on him and you smack him just kind of like in the head with the burst of thunderous energy, and you just see him start to cry as he stares at you. And you jump off him super dramatically. It looks great. He just like, he barely takes the half-hearted swipe at you as you withdraw. Okay, cool. End of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. He is going to rush forward very slowly.
He takes the 3d8. Oh, not the one I hit.
Nope. He will in a moment, though. So he
Great.
probably will. Since he's slowed, they can only make one attack with their action, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Kieran, that is a... Oh, wait. Synaptic static. That's a 24 to hit you.
Oh yeah, that hit.
Okay, 17 bludgeoning damage.
Ouchie.
As his great club comes into you, and he goes like back like he wants to swing again, but it's super slow and he cannot. And
Alright.
then this one is gonna rush forward. How much thunder damage, Sheila?
16.
Okay. And he's just kind of wailing as he moves forward, right to there, but will attack you. That is a... Oh. That's a very poopy roll. That's an 11.
Whoa, I even dropped my shield for you.
I know. And I still couldn't hit you. Okay. That's the end of his turn. Ah, just rolled bad. That's what I get for
Damn
messaging Sly earlier today. Okay. Miriam, what are you doing?
Right, Miriam is just gonna walk forward a little bit, reach out her hand, and send out 6 more phoenixes towards this dude. So, let's... Okay.
The one closest to you?
Yep.
Okay.
The one next to Sheila, so 26, 29.
I think at some point you should maybe, like, stop and roll some damage.
Okay, so those 4 hit.
Yeah, I'll fire them hit.
Alright, so 4d10 plus 20 plus another 5, so 52 damage. And
Yeah. You just, Sheila, you jump off and he's swinging at you, and in the upswing, there's like a burst of an eldritch energy that smacks into his hand, and he drops his club and it goes flying behind him, and he turns kind of with the momentum, and then 3 more bursts smack into his chest. And actually 2 more bursts. I'll let you save that third one because you killed him with the first 3.
Alright.
Smack
So
into his chest, and he falls in a heap on top of the other giant lady, timbering down, and your 4th burst just goes straight flying through and hitting the other one.
Alright, and I'll do more at that other one.
Okay. It's plus 5, right? So that's 8 for the first damage.
Yep.
Okay.
And 17 and 23,
Those
so
both do hit.
for 18 damage.
That was just enough.
Yeah, I was 2 more little phoenixes. 2 of them just go straight through his eyes and out the back.
Oh, that's perfect. So, Miriam just decimated the rest of that combat there, as the giant falls with a loud burst of energy in this kind of like quiet forest path, and the chaos seems to have stopped, and we are out of initiative.
Oh, goodness, that was quite fun.
For
Kieran,
yourself, this dress is ruined.
do you need me to mend it? Kieran will call over as he's dusting off, the bruises and, bloody bits he has on himself. I can mend it and clean it.
Be very much appreciated.
He will, if it's torn, cast mending on it, and then he will prestidigitate all of the dust off. And
Beautiful.
such.
Best spell in the game.
I know, it's great.
It's my favorite.
And you'll finish kind of cleaning. He doesn't really bother too much with the crud on him, and he'll go, well, that was the fun time.
Indeed. Miriam's gonna take a look at that necklace that the she-giant was wearing. Just because I'm curious.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
I'll help her.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
That advantage was very useful. 19.
Okay, so looking at it, you don't know giant, but Sheila kind of leans over your shoulder, and Sheila, you recognize this as a rune, and very specifically a rune that hill giants use that refers to thunder. It does not seem that this item does seem magical, but as the giant dies, it seems that its magic use has faded, that it was tied to her life force as it kind of cracks.
Would that make us think that she made the rune?
Yes. So it seems that she carved the rune and she was using it as kind of like a magical focus.
That's quite interesting.
Someone must be teaching the giants magic.
Be Tobias.
Is there anything else of interest on any of the bodies? I will loot goblin everything.
Okay, good thing I have loot goblin things prepared. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Yeah.
I will give her guidance.
I don't fucking need it, but I'll take it. I don't think you understand. I always expertise investigation the second I get the chance.
Flies like loot, loot, loot.
Yep.
It's okay,
Yep.
you weren't the only one asking me about loot. Okay, so you loot through their stuff, and being that you've traveled up here before, you kind of know a little bit about that giants carry bags that they hold their stuff in. Like, this is a thing. That is their stuff. And throughout all of it, in the bag of the one who was crying, you find several different things. You find a bit of gold. You find some electrum. You find 3 boulders in there that he could have hefted. You find 5 wheels of cheese, the skull of a mammoth that still has like sticky, gross skin on it, and a small picture book in common that seems to be like teaching him. He looks like he was trying to learn how to speak common. In the larger, more angry one that was declaring the lady his wife, you find a bit of electrum, some gold, a boulder, an unopened cask of honeymead, a rusty dagger that's covered in like gunk, and a clay tablet that has some very stirring poetry in giant. It's a little dirty. It's very, very stirring though.
What kind of dirty?
Like, it talks about voluptuous breasts.
Okay.
So it's like a dirty poem. And you see the last couple lines have been like scratched out and rewritten a little bit. It looks like he was working on something.
I will be attempting to finish this.
About this poor dead lady's fucking breasts.
Hey, you know what? I'll try to alter it a little bit so it makes a little bit more sense to something else. Maybe get a song out of it.
Cool. And then in her pouch, you find a little bit more gold, and 4 diamonds that are worth 100 gold pieces each, and then very beautifully nice carved sandals, a potion of stone giant strength, and an oil of etherealness.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So it was 4 diamonds, 100 gold each.
Mm-hmm.
Stone giant strength potion.
Yep.
And then what were the other 2?
Oil of etherealness.
Okay.
I did not total up the golden electrum. You guys can do the addition later. But I threw the numbers in the loot channel. Okay.
Well, I'll look to Lydia and go, do you know how to revivify? I can't remember.
Candle.
killed him.
Candle.
Damn it, the bane of being muted all the time. So, no, unfortunately I'm not that kind of cleric, but I will take the diamonds. They are kind of pretty.
I mean, if need be, if we're in a pinch, and I have not come into any other pinches earlier in the day or within 4 days, I could cast Revivify.
Then I will hand you 3 of the 4 diamonds, and then I'll hand the 4th diamond off to Thea.
Heard that Miriam has Revivify.
Yes.
Fires does a lot for me. He and I, like this. And Miriam puts 2 fingers together.
How did the cheeses smell?
There's like 2 of them that are a little too far gone moldy wise, especially sitting next to a a mammoth skull that still had meat on it. But 3 of them, there's like the other 3, 2 of them are pretty good. One of them you like think that you could get away with cutting off mold off like half.
I'll snag that one, but I'll make sure that Lydia isn't looking when I snag it.
Real talk though, since these are giants, how big are these wheels of cheese?
They're like, it looks like they took wheels of cheese from some other civilization, so they were like a slice of cheese to them, you know, like, or like a couple bites of cheese. They're like the baby Bellas to them. Those things are my
Gotcha.
favorite. I love those. But to like you guys are a regular wheel of cheese.
Alright, I'll take a wheel of cheese. I don't have any particular desire toward anything, so first claims for everyone.
I don't need anything either.
I'll take the meat.
Alright.
I guess I'll take the oil of etherness if nobody else wants it.
Alright. Sheila,
Girl has to moisturize.
would you like potion of stone giant strength? We've got I'll take the tablet. We've got a mammoth skull, we've got plenty of gold, decent amount.
No, I'm okay. Save the potion for someone who needs it.
Alright, I'll just throw that in the bag of holding. And I'm treating this bag of holding, by the way, as like the general groups. So, if you want anything from it, just
Gotcha.
just ask me and I'll toss it. Actually, I will not toss it, because I'll hand it gently. Please don't take this away from me.
Okay. Thank you. And anything else in this area before you move on?
I'm good.
Okay. So this encounter vanquished an evidence that there's some growing giant activity, especially the further south. It's a little intriguing that it's this far south. But you continue on the path for a few more days. It's getting colder as you trek further along the mountains. occasionally you do see some animals that come down the mountains and accost you a little bit here and there, but you guys are powerful enough that it doesn't like bother you too bad. It snows again the fourth night, and after waking up in a blanket covering the ground of your campsite, it's heavy and damp. Can I get a survival check as you carry on your passageway here to try to track the area, Lydia?
Sure can.
Oh,
I
we
will
would.
give myself guidance.
Would we have taken a long rest by this point?
Oh, yeah.
Or-
Yeah. You can definitely mark a long rest off.
Cool.
So that's a 17.
Okay. So, I have too many tabs open. So with a 17, you recall almost exactly the path that Lillian led you on in your little vision mind meld moment. But you trudge through. You are grateful for the warm clothes given to you that are keeping you warm, and the little charms help kind of keep you a little bit on the drier side and warmer. But you trudge along for another 2 days. The snow is impeding your progress very little, but it is growing colder as you continue. And you find the space where you kind of hang a little bit of a curvature back south, and you begin to climb into the Aegeus Mountains. You follow the tallest mountain on the left, just like your vision, and the set of twin peaks on the right. About a half-day's climb leads you into the valley between the three mountains. A frozen waterfall is reflecting in the sun. A familiar sight greets you, Lydia. The tower, nestled in the snow-capped peaks right next to this waterfall. The stone gray of the tall tower carries up in one circular shape. Several full balconies encircling the couple of the middle floors. You see large windows that decorate higher up, and the roof seems to be made of this gleaming white gold metal. Arcs of it sticking out of the reflective dome that makes up the top, and nestling in what could only be a large telescope. And I think with this vision, as you walk into this area, that is where we are going to end tonight's session, my friends. So, for those who are here on Twitch, stick around. We're going to chat for a little bit after, and we're going to raid off. But for those who are hanging out with us on YouTube, we will catch you next time. Thank you for joining us for the session, and we will see what happens as the group approaches this wizard's tower at the next time here.